Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be making a quick breakfast for my family. So I am doing a voiceover because on this morning, everyone was still asleep. I was kind of halfway still asleep. You can see that I'm still in my robe here. But I really wanted to make this breakfast for my family. Now, I'm going to be really honest with you guys. One of the reasons that I don't really do a lot of cooking videos is because typically when I'm cooking breakfast or if I'm cooking in the evenings or just around the house, I don't look the greatest. So I figure, you know what? Sometimes you guys are going to have to see me in my robe. This is real life, and this is just what it was this morning. So what I am doing this morning is I am making a quick biscuit recipe that I found on Pinterest, and I will link it below in the comments. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, I am not a huge baker, and one of the things that I'm really wanting to do in 2024 is to do more baking, whether it's breads, rolls, whatever it is, cakes, cookies, all the things. I really want to try and push myself to the limit when it comes to baking because I think it's just an art that everyone needs to have. And, as far as it comes to bread, especially, my family loves bread. I'm not a huge bread eater, but I feel like at this point, I just haven't found the perfect bread recipe just for me. Now, my family enjoys it the majority of the time, like my sandwich breads, but I will tell you with these biscuits, they were a little dry. They were pretty good once we put jelly on them, but I really want to work. I don't think it was the recipe. Maybe it was something that I missed, but I do think it's something that I kind of want to go back to the drawing boards and try this again because I'm telling y'all, it came together so quick. I loved being able to just whisk everything together. And you'll see in a minute that I actually used my cast iron skillet for this. It was amazing. So definitely going to give it a try again or find a recipe similar to it and just work on making it again. So as you can see, I put all of my ingredients together in the bowl. I don't even know, is it a butter cutter? I'm going to have to figure out what it is, and I'll put that. I'm sure that y'all know what it is, but the name escapes me to cut in my butter. I've actually had this tool for quite some time, and I just decided to take it out of the box for this recipe, and I'm really glad that I did. I also love to use my Danish whisk, and so if you don't have that, I think I have them linked in my Amazon store in my description, and I'll make sure that they're linked, but I think I got them, and it was like 2 in a pack, so I absolutely love them. So right now what I'm doing is just flattening out my dough. Now you can absolutely use a roller for this. I just patted it out until it was fine enough for me to do it. I wanted these biscuits. Of course, you want layers on your biscuits. So I didn't roll it out super thin. And this actually worked perfect. So now I'm just using my dough cutter or my biscuit cutter. I've really got to learn the name of these things if I'm going to be using them, right? So just go ahead and cut those biscuits, and then I'm going to roll or pat my dough out a little bit more just to make sure that I have enough biscuits for my whole family. So that is what we're doing here. As far as the dough was actually really easy to work with. It didn't come out dry. I just don't know. Maybe I baked the biscuits a little bit longer than I should have. I just don't know. So I'm going to have to try it again. I do know, though, I will say this, the milk that I use, now I can remember that. It called for buttermilk, and I used regular whole milk, so that could definitely have something to do with it. So I'll just remember the next time to make sure that I have buttermilk, or I'll do regular milk with a little bit of vinegar, I think, mixed with it to make buttermilk. So now we're just moving on to cooking up some bacon. I like to cook my bacon in the oven. However, if you want to cook your bacon in an air fryer on the top of the stove or whatever you want to do, that's perfectly fine. Now, I used to actually cook up bacon in bulk and keep it in the freezer. I'm not really crazy about the texture of it that way. Using it in a dish wasn't so bad, but just to pull it out for like a breakfast, it just, I don't know. And I tend to kind of cook my bacon a little bit too crispy sometimes. So it could have just been that it was just a little too crispy and I just didn't like it. So definitely will try it again. But again, if you have it in your freezer, that would actually make this go by a lot quicker because you can just pull it out, warm it up a little bit. So anyway, we're adding them to the oven. And now what we're doing is dropping an egg. I'm actually going to fry up some eggs this morning. My family loves my fried eggs, so I just put a little bit of salt on it. I don't put a ton of salt on any of my food. And then I just kind of season it with our seasonings of choice. You can definitely use whatever you want to use. This is just kind of what I choose to use. Now you did see me put, that was actually a no salt seasoning that I get from my local Costco. However, you might be saying, why did you put salt on it and then a no salt seasoning? Well, that no salt seasoning to me really gives it because it has all kind of peppers and all other different things in it. And so I just like to use them together, but I use very little salt. So I went ahead now and I'm buttering the biscuits, and I do put a little bit of butter in the pan when I'm frying my eggs. I just like the taste of the butter, and my family does too. So that is what we're doing now. And then once those biscuits are browned, and you can actually see on the bottom, they didn't burn or anything. I don't know what was going on. I really think it was the buttermilk. If you think that it was the buttermilk and that is the reason why they may have been a little bit dry, let me know. I typically don't buy buttermilk because I don't use it that often. But I guess, there's a lot of recipes that I see for baking that actually call for buttermilk. So I'm pretty sure that I probably need to just have some just in case. So anyway, just getting the bacon out of the oven. And then once that is done, I'm going to let those eggs sit and kind of firm up a little bit. And then I'm going to flip them. We do like our eggs well done. We don't like them over easy or runny or any of that. But again, if that is your preference, then definitely do that. So just flipping the eggs over and then just getting them ready. And then seasoning the other sides of them. And I will be honest with you guys, I really want to get more so into doing freezer meals, especially for breakfast. I feel like breakfast is one of those things. I'm not a huge breakfast eater. And so getting up to cook breakfast every morning, we want a good breakfast, but I fail at that a lot because I just don't really get up to cook a breakfast. Like, it's just not something that I typically do. Not a big breakfast, but I would love to have more options. And I think that freezer meals will actually help me with that. So if you have any freezer meals that you use, one of my favorite YouTube channels is Becky over at Acre Homestead. She is amazing. And so I do have some of her recipes written down that I'm going to try to use for freezer meals, but I've just got to take the time to do them. So anyway, we're letting these eggs go ahead and fry up and get good and kind of done on one side before we flip them. I actually kind of like them a little crispy. So I don't like to crunch on them, but I don't mind a little bit of browning. So anyway, we're getting those fixed up right now. And then what I'm going to end up doing is just using the same pan, washing it out. I don't want to use a whole bunch of dishes. As you can see, bam, the pan is clean. And so we're going to put some Canadian bacon on here. I kind of prefer Canadian bacon over regular bacon, but I knew that, honestly, just having bacon is a treat for my family. We don't do a lot of bacon, like regular bacon. So when I purchased this bacon, it was on sale at my local Kroger, but I don't know the next time that I'll buy it. But Canadian bacon is something that I will actually eat before I turn to bacon. So just wanted to go ahead and do the both of them and give my family some options. So now what I'm going to do, and y'all, I am so sorry that I have got to get a new tripod. I feel like the tripod that I have is way too big. And so it's really hard for me to sit it in certain areas. So I know that the video is kind of cut out, but I promise you we're working on it. I'm going to get something better. So anyway, I'm just cutting up some strawberries. We actually got these strawberries from our local Costco, I think. And I don't know if you guys are the same way, but sometimes when you buy certain fruit, it's either really good or it's just really bad. And this particular time, the strawberries were really, really good. So I wanted to add those to our breakfast on this morning. I'm hoping that this spring I can actually grow my own strawberries. We typically grow them. We just don't get really big strawberries and we don't get a big harvest of them. So hopefully I'm able to grow some this spring because we really, really love them, but we really, really love like homegrown and not a lot of store bought. So anyway, now I'm just going to use these. We have some coconut pineapples that we got from Costco that are delicious, that we absolutely love. And so I'm going to cut a few of those up as well, just to add to our fruit. Not really fruit salad, but I actually like the pineapple juice on top of my strawberries. So that kind of makes for a tasty treat. All right, so here's our breakfast spread, and I'm really excited about it. My family loved it. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and giving it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys, and I hope you have a great day. Bye, friends.